All right, we're back at it again with another day, shared by the daily close here. We're gonna be talking about the market. I mean, it's another day for the daily close, and there's a lot of things happening. So, joined here today by my boy knxqtr, and we're gonna share some alpha with you guys. Hopefully, it can help you tread these waters because we might be looking forward to a little bit of a pullback in the next coming days or so. But as always, this is not financial advice, so do your own research. Also, please continue to like. Please give us some comments here and there as well. We reply when we can. It really helps us out, helps us know how we can better serve you guys too. But also, don't forget to subscribe. Helps with the algorithm and helps other people see our videos. If you hit that bell notification as well, then you won't miss our next video. But yeah, without further ado, let me just jump in here with some BTC reads. So I'll pull it up on my side here. All right. I'm just gonna move this down. There we go. All right, yeah. So, just today, actually, maybe it might be a way to show the current market, but I have some key, BTC, ETH, of course, and have all these other kind of altcoins on here, and you can see a little bit more sea of red. I'm seeing numbers between, faithfully, Bitcoin's around 0% down so far, but I'm seeing numbers as high as 10. So that might give you a pretty good indication of how the market's kind of doing. But as I always love to start, we're looking at the BTC dominance chart right now too, and this is on the daily. And as I've been saying in the past number of videos, BTC is really taking dominance in this market over the past couple of weeks here. Again, BTC dominance means how much money's in BTC compared to the rest of the market. People are flooding over to BTC either because they trust it a bit more. It is more or less a reserve currency, and it's a good place to put your money when there's a little bit of trepidation in the market. But just to say it plainly, looking back here to September, I just want like 13th of September, we've just been getting higher highs, higher lows, more and more consistently. This is quite bullish, to say the least, and I think this trend is going to continue. I would take a gander and say within the next number of days. I love my Ichimoku cloud, and yes, we've already passed above the base, which is my white line here. For a pass above this, we've gone above the red, which has always been considered more of a bearish sign. But now, because we passed through this is a bull flag here, bull sign that we're looking at here as well. We're also over the Bollinger Bands that I'm using. Let me just turn this off here. We're obviously above the 20-day moving average, hitting the top here. Often people might think that might be an indication that this might pull down, as you see in the previous areas here, there, and there. But I also want to make note that even though if we touch the top here, that's not an indication it's going to just bounce right back down, because obviously we just kept going up. So I'm thinking it's going to continue this pattern, moving up towards the moon, which is what we all like to see. If we go to some lower time frames as well, let me just shorten this up a bit more. I mean, the volume is still quite favorable. Obviously, we're in the overbought territory on our side, but that's not an indication it's going to pull back down too hard anytime too soon. The 4 hour is looking just as promising as the daily. This seems quite consistent. If we want to check out the VPVR as well, we're obviously up in the area above where most people normally buy. However, so I mean, there might be a little bit of risk here, you might want to say, but I just don't think it's going to be strong enough to think that this is going to stop anytime soon. So if anything else, we might just see, if I were to be a little bit bearish, we might see just a little bit bump down, carry on a bit, and I think it's probably going to keep going up. That's my bold prediction on the market cap and BTC dominance right now. I would go lower, but just for dominance, when we're talking about dominance, I don't think there's really much need to go down to lower time frames at this point. But just looking at the macro here, actually, yeah, I mean, let's turn off this VPR here as well because it's getting a bit loud. Yeah, we're at a fairly critical point here as well too. Yeah, I mean, I think in the next couple of days, next couple of hours, we keep going over this trend. This is just going to keep going upward. So for those of you who are bullish on BTC, this could be a pretty good sign. Even in a market that's a sea of red, as you see here, BTC is faring better than its other assets out in the market today, or for the past couple of days and weeks, if you might say. But here is BTC itself, BTC to US dollar. I'm seeing the same kind of patterns here as well. I mean, back, actually this is, I'm gonna pull this back up to the daily. There we go. And just get a little bit more space. So here as well, we're seeing a good pattern here. This is back in, sorry, this is a bit in the way. Yeah, just before August as well. I mean, we had our bottom here, higher lows, which we would like to see. We did have a little bit earlier in September, a bit of a pullback, but honestly, it seemed like it held here. This seems like a pretty good line of support right there. It's actually quite consistent. So, I mean, we did dip down back again, but I think, for all of those, everyone out there who may have bought around this area here, around the 41 area, I think you're probably happy with your decision because, at this point, we've just been seeing some quite good gains here. I'm talking like maybe 38%. I mean, for some good money at that point, you would have been pretty happy, wouldn't you? And then we were just making higher highs up on the daily chart, which is actually quite, a very, very good sign. Still not even above the RSI. I set my RSI to the 40 to 80 just to, just show a bit more tolerance for the volatility that usually shows in these cryptocurrency assets. And even then, we're still just barely over. We're barely even over here. So again, I'm still feeling this is going to continue in the same trend. You could put on the pivots here as well. I've only started using this because my mentor knxqtr uses them, so it's a very good very good indicator that I like to take advantage of now. But I mean, yes, I mean, you have this a pivot up here. Perhaps we might just bounce off that a bit here too, but just within the this month alone, we've just been breaking above our pivots anyways. And so, I mean, if you're looking for an entry in, a lot of people get kind of scared when they see that assets are starting to climb and they feel like they may have missed their time. But I think within the next coming days, if you're patient, as with as you see with the chart that has been kind of doing slow up and down, consolidate and back up, that maybe even in this area here, I'd probably say, I mean, there's this pivot here. I mean, if it were to climb, or sorry, fall a little bit back towards 52, that might actually be a relatively good time to buy. Now, just bear in mind, I'm talking about just a daily chart. This is going back to July. There might be more movements, more on the macro level, that might say that we'll have a pullback before we go up into proper Q4 climb. So it could bounce back down if we're talking at that level here. I'd probably put it, maybe could go as low as 46, but just given the BTC dominance and the overall bullish sentiment that I'm seeing in these charts here, it'd be one hell of a correction to get there. But even then, it's still a good opportunity for you to buy because there's still a lot of promise and belief in this particular asset. As always, I always have to bring it back to my EG local cloud. And again, we've gone the Kijun, which is the white, and the Tenkan, which is the conversion or the change. We've already crossed back up again, and we're above the green here too. So it's just all a bullish activity. Yes, our activity might be a little bit red just for today, but we're saying, I think, fairly consistent at this level of volume right now. So overall, that's not too bad. I did hear in the news recently that US is thinking about maybe putting some, whether it be executive orders or something in place to help keep up with the regulation with business in this market. So that's something to also pay attention to as well. We just have to see how that might play out. If I find any relevant news, of course, I'm going to post it in here. But if we bring it back down to the 4-hour here as well, yeah, still seeing much of the same. Still bullish, still going up, making higher highs, actually quite consistently, except for the small little drop, which is still a higher low than the rest. So I mean, this is, I don't know. I mean, within the next few weeks or so, if this continues, we could break up above 60,000 if we get some proper, some more people getting back into the space. Maybe with end of the year bonuses, and maybe if people want to start putting more money into the market, we might see us, start getting back up to the levels that we saw before. 65 might be a bit of a reach, but we might have to look at a longer time frame for that. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, overall, past couple of weeks, my sentiment has been consistently bullish. BTC is still, I keep terming as reserve currency. So I mean, if anything else, BTC is still a strong buy for me. Of course, not financial advice, but technical analysis, the charts, they read for themselves. So do your own research and play cool in this market. But BTC is a good asset, so look into it. But yeah, that's my quick read on BTC, and I'll move it over to you, knxqtr, for a little bit of read on Ethereum.
Thank you. Yeah, so today I'm going to be covering Ethereum. Just a quick update on the market. I think we made a video a couple of days ago, so we want to keep on, we want to continue to keep you guys updated as often as possible and share our thoughts on where we think the market is going. So let me jump straight into my charts here, and I'm on the Ethereum chart here. This is the weekly chart. I have the VP VR, the volume profile, up already. But on the weekly timeframes, and bear in mind, I want to stress again and again that these are long-term timeframes that I'm looking at on the weekly. So things won't play out within the next couple of days, maybe not even the next week or so, but more so like 3 or 4 weeks down the line. So depending on what timeframe we're looking at, please bear in mind that how quickly or how slow these will play out. So on the weekly time frame, where this is, we're looking very, very bullish actually. We did close actually back in the end of August. We closed on, technically, we made new all-time highs on ETH. We closed on new all-time highs. We're coming back down now. We did confirm a higher low right here. You can see on my indicator, this gray triangle here confirms that this was a higher low. Our previous low was here. So this is general bullish market structure. I would, in the next few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, expect ETH to start moving up here to at least retest around the 3,950 level, and then make new all-time highs from there. Having said that, there's always an invalidation point on the other side. If we start to close weekly candles, that's weekly candles, not daily candles, not 2-day candles, but weekly candles, any closure below $3,050, I would then look for a move back down to around 2,800, 2,700-ish, and then we can take it from there. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. I do think that we're going to continue the sort of trend upwards. And if you're a pattern trader, this is a typical cup and handle type pattern here. And just to give you guys some hopium, if we're looking down the line, if we do break up to this side, we be targeting around 6,100. Maybe by the end of the year. I actually think that we'll probably trade higher than that by the end of the year, but we'll have to see. So that's it for the weekly. Stokes have freshly crossed back up around the neutral zone, which is a good sign. Volatility continues to come down while we aren't making new all-time highs. You still have a sort of a long signal here. The jewel isn't really telling me anything on the weekly, but you still have a sort of hollow your long signal there on the weekly as well. On the daily, let's see what we have on the daily. So the daily, to me, looks like it's forming a little bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So here's your left shoulder, the head, and then potentially we're forming sort of like a right shoulder here. And on the daily time frames, we can take a measured move of this. And again, it's just an estimate, but if we do break out of this level, oops, that line isn't really straight. We're probably looking at about $4,600 for the next move up, which would break our previous all-time highs where we worked up to about $4,400 there. So that's what I'm expecting to happen. This isn't financial advice, so please take this as a grain of salt. It's your guess is as good as mine, but this is what I look for to play out basically. So maybe another couple of days, another few days of ranging. We have a nice decrease in volume here, which is what you want to see in the head and shoulders pattern. And then once we start breaking out of this head and shoulders above the neckline, you want to see an increase in volume moving up to the measured move, which is about 4,600. Other than that, the daily, the daily is looking okay. The weekly is looking a lot more bullish, but I mean, if we start closing any sort of candles below 3,400-ish, around 3,400 level, I would look for a move back down to sort of point of control here on the VPVR, which is around 3,050 to around 3,250 to around 3,300 is where I'd look for the next low to set in and a bounce from there as well. Moving down to the 4-hour. 4-hour again, we're in a little bit of a range here. If I just draw a very rough range, I'm not going to make this perfect, but this is the sort of like range that we're looking at here. As long as we range in between this level, I don't really see this as a good or a bad sign, but I do expect us to break in the upwards direction and make a move in the short term on the 4-hourly, maybe to around 3,900. 3,900 is a sort of measured move. Maybe even about 3,980. Before then, maybe a short-term pullback, and then making new all-time highs from there. So yeah, maybe a little bit more sideways here, maybe for the next couple of days, and then maybe a move back up to our previous all-time highs. Again, there's not too much showing on the hourly. Let me just put my, let me turn and put my moving averages on. Yeah, the invalidation point for me would be below 3,400. Let's say 3,400, and then there'd be a measured move down to around about 3,300, 3,330, around that level. If we are able to maintain this level and get a nice bounce off here, I do think we make our way back to the top of the range here, retest that top of the range before either getting rejected from there or making new all-time highs. So that's it really. The 1 hour isn't really telling me too much. Just some more sideways action for now. But I do believe that we'll have one more leg up before maybe a medium term pullback, which I think will probably scare everyone. And then that's when the mega pump will happen. So you better be ready when that mega pump does happen, because this is the time that you can actually change your life and make life-changing money. So yeah, keep your eye out for keep your powder dry, and just look for potential entries get in there. Never FOMO in. Always do your own research. Always be patient. Because FOMOing into the market often leads to losing a lot of money. I've definitely lost a lot of money doing that. So be careful. But if you're new to trading, take your time. I would say investing is a better way to make money so far. But if you are looking to trade with money that you're okay with losing.
Words to live by.
That's it for me. Yeah. So short term, a little bit of sideways, maybe a little bit of sideways and down, maybe. Long term's looking very, very good. So yeah, that's it.
Nice. That's perfect. That's well, there you have it, guys. We have BTC. My read is that still bullish. Going to be popping up even slightly in the short term as well. That pullback's going to come at some point. I do feel people don't. Seems people rarely learn their lessons from the previous pullbacks, and for those of you who've been paying attention to the market over this past year, especially that doozy in May, there's plenty of pullbacks that come up. So I mean, we start seeing some patterns and likelihood of a pullback. Hedge your risk. Be careful and use money you're not going to lose. With ETH, as knxqtr mentioned, probably going to see some sideways action, maybe a slight pullback, but honestly, ETH is ETH. It's going to pump up again. So hopefully within by the end of this year, we might be seeing some big numbers pulling up. So as a great man once said, it's an opportunity to make some life-changing money. So make sure you do your own research and prepare. So yeah, that's it. That's what it is for the daily close. We look to be doing more of these videos throughout the week. Keep you posted on the market. As always, if you could please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. You can also give us a comment down below. We really appreciate it. We love seeing the conversations. Some of them just take off on their own. We're not really sure how to jump in there sometimes, but we will when we can. It's always about finding that right entry. So yeah, other than that, just see you guys on the next round. But until then, may the pump be with you.
And may the pump be with you.
That's what's up. All right, guys. See ya.